This is the continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Conley as Norman Harrington.
In 4 hours, Rodney Harrington will take the witness stand in his own defense in his trial for the murder of Joe Chernak.
You too? Yeah, I got hungry. That's what I said. Well, the dining room is closed, Counselor. Let's open it. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Carr.
Could we have some coffee and some eggs when you have a chance?
Oh, sure thing.
Now, you don't have to baby me, Stephen. I won't crumple.
No nerves?
Yeah, only about 175 pounds worth. Good. If you said you weren't scared, you'd be a liar or a fool. Neither of which will do us any good today. Hey, you know, my freshman year of high school, I made the second-string football team, but I never got in the game. I kept yelling about how I wanted to get in that game, just for one play, one play. You want to know a secret? I was glad I was on that bench. I was scared. I was scared that if I did get in the game, I'd fumble the first ball that came my way. And you know something? I was right. First time in the game, I froze. I couldn't find the handle. And when I think about getting on that witness stand, can I find the handle? The words to set all this straight. One fumble. It's the bench for good.
Hey, you guys ought to knock off all the noise. I can hear you all the way over in the apartment.
What are you doing here?
Well, I found out Rita's a heavy sleeper and a light shopper. Even I can't cut beef stew and tomato paste for breakfast.
Pull down a chair and join the club.
Hey, aren't you the guy they used to call Sticky Fingers Harrington? The guy with the iron grip and silver tongue?
That's me. Only you should see Stella Chernak in action. Now there is a professional. She lied. Oh, but was she convincing, Stephen? To the judge, the jury? Then today you do it better. You take Stella and her lies and knock her out of the game. That's what it boils down to, doesn't it? Can I tell the truth as well as Stella lied?
I had no choice. I couldn't run. There was no place to hide, so... Surprise.
Not really, Stella. You're very consistent. You always do the unexpected.
Well, that leaves you. You're going to confound the experts. You're going to slam the door in my face.
You're my research assistant. There's work to be done, and at this point, you're the only one that can do it.
Oh. I knew my unique filing system would come in handy someday. Can't bring yourself to look at me, can you? You turned away from me in the courtroom. You haven't turned back since. Well, I think the first order of business is to requisition a screen. We can put it between the desks, and that way you won't have to spend all your time ignoring me.
I want you to spend the rest of the week working at the lab. There's some more blood sampling there. Has to be categorized.
That sounds like a professional brush-off, Doctor. The medical equivalent of Siberia.
That's exactly what it is. I'm too busy to spend my days around here ignoring you, and my office is too small to put up a screen. So you take it or leave it.
Then why did you let me come back to work?
Frankly, because Stephen Cord thought it might hurt Rodney's case if I made a martyr out of you. I thought about it, and I decided to go along with it.
Oh, Doctor, we're a lovely pair of pawns. I came back because Mr. Fowler didn't want anything to damage my testimony.
Your devotion to duty warms my heart, Miss Anderson.
Oh. Good morning, Mr. Peyton.
You're about 2 hours earlier than you have to be.
And you're up about 2 hours earlier than you have to be.
Then we're both guilty of the ultimate sin. Failure to conform to the clock. What a crime it is that such an impersonal mechanism should govern our lives so completely.
Would you like the heat on?
No.
Can I get you anything?
About 20 more years. Think you can manage that, Miss Anderson? Oh, stop puttering about. You're not the housekeeper.
I don't mind.
I do.
If you'd rather be alone.
I'd say so. You've been seeing my grandson, Rodney.
What?
I said you've been seeing my grandson, your former husband. He drove you back here the day you testified. You went up to his room on his birthday.
Mr. Peyton, I'm not quite in the mood for another interrogation.
Feeling sorry for him? Is that what it's been? Thought he needed a shoulder to cry on?
No.
Then why?
Because I wanted to.
Ah. You care about my grandson?
Yes. Suppose you think I'm ridiculous.
No, Miss Anderson. I think you're one of the few people left who hasn't turned into a clock watcher.
Maybe I haven't learned my lesson yet.
No. Don't become another emotionless bore. These days, it costs most people more than they're willing to pay to live the lives they want to. With each tick of the clock, they trade a piece of themselves for security, comfort, painless survival. Thomas! Get Thomas and get my clothes. Rodney needs every human being in that courtroom today.
Mr. Peyton.
What, are you coming with me? Or are you going to spend the day here watching your life tick by?
You promised to stay out of the courtroom.
Unlike human beings, promises are made to be broken.
If you go to that courtroom, you'll just be reminding everyone what Stephen's trying to make them forget. That you control their lives with your mill. That you make the rules for survival in this town. And that you can trade jobs for Rod's freedom. Mr. Peyton, I know how you feel because I feel exactly the same way. But don't cheat the clock at Rod's expense.
For a moment, I felt alive. All right. You go along. Take enough emotion for both of us.
I thought I'd give you an extra few minutes.
Court convenes in an hour.
It's almost ready. Want some juice?
Yes, fine.
What's going on today? In court, that is.
Rodney is going to testify.
Isn't that dangerous?
It's the lesser of two evils. If he doesn't do it, Stephen doesn't have a case. But if he does do it, he leaves himself wide open for Fowler's hatchet. Now, it's the lesser of two evils. You know, Connie, I've been thinking about... Well, I want to discuss it with you first.
What have you been thinking about, Elliot?
About sending Allison away. Oh, not far. Just to Boston, to someplace that has experience with this sort of thing.
What do you mean, this sort of thing?
Like refusing to remember her father. Refusing to face the realities of her life. It seems to me, Connie, that we're so bound up in our own pain that we've forgotten what it must be like for Allison.
I haven't forgotten.
If it were just a physical thing, even that'd be bad enough. But to be consistently told on all sides that she's selfish, she's spiteful, she's neurotic.
Elliot.
Those are the facts, Connie. Those are the medical facts.
It isn't that simple, and you know it.
All right, I know it, but however much it hurts us, Connie, it might help Allison. It'll give her a chance to breathe again, to think, to find out where she's been and where she wants to go without having us leaning over her shoulder every single minute.
You want her to run away, like I did. And you want us to help her do it.
Oh, let's not go into that, Connie.
These are the facts, Elliot. Maybe if I hadn't lied to her from the beginning. If I hadn't bought that 5 and dime picture and put it in a gold frame and put it up on the mantel and said to her, there's your father. Above reproach, like your mother and like you are. Maybe if I hadn't built a wall around her of safe, sterile, meaningless pictures, maybe she
What
wouldn't...
is it you want? Finally to be told that what you did was wrong. Is that why you're constantly bringing it up? You want to be told, have your wrists slapped and to be told that you were naughty? Will that make everything perfect again? Let me ask you something. Supposing I'd been a farmer from White River or a shoe salesman from Detroit instead of a convicted murderer, would you still have built those walls and told those lies?
You are blaming me.
She was our daughter, not your private property, not some prized possession that you locked away whenever a stranger came around, and she had a father, a real one, not a cardboard one. Why didn't you let her have it?
Because he was in jail, and I was afraid.
Connie, I've always been afraid that this might tear us apart. We mustn't let it do that.